When you grow up, your heart dies. Atlantean Imperial Palace. Namid felt it creeping in like the ghost of his ever-expanding past. It had been over 1 millennia since he walked the real halls of Atlantis. The scene not once changing or evolving as he led all or as he learned all things must. His eyes danced off the fine work of the swirling pillars of multicolored masterpieces that danced up the walls. In a brief moment, Namid was 14 again. He could hear the sounds of his 18 brothers echoing through the halls as they walked, preparing to be proud conquerors for the first time. Namid blinks as every single battlefield he had been on when they fell flashed before him. Holding back tears, he steeled himself, feeling Nefertiti's gentle presence like a warm hug. Out of every pharaoh, she was the one he needed the most, and despite their spats, he was most thankful. Save your people, and if you can, find your father along the way. For both of us. The words echoed as the voice of his mother's last words played like a record. Namid doubted his father remembered his mother when he had more wives than children. The fire of arguments flared as he turned to the massive doors before the grand hall. Without a word, he looked at Aldrea. They both knew what was at stake, as she gave a soft nod of approval before turning to guard the door, closing them with a groan as Namid entered. Finally, the prodigal son returns. The voice of Namid's father echoed as he stared at him from his throne. Even though Namid didn't recognize the cadence, he knew... Whoa, what just happened? Give me a second. There we are. Even though Namid didn't recognize the cadence, he knew, the cadence that now spit everywhere. The grand hall was almost blackened, as the only light being cast was that of a soft light from the plasmatic fire that now raged through the city, somewhere on the other side of the only open door. Even though the grand hall had more than 10, the door led to a balcony that saw the entire city, which Namid could only imagine how bright those flames would be at this point. Father, Namid whispered, slipping and saying the words more to himself, feeling his disdain grow as fresh wave of uncertainty in his actions flooded over him. Speak, boy! Address me proper! His father's cracked and broken voice once more echoed across the hall. The pride that once filled its tone was completely gone, replaced with venom. His lulled and diluted red eyes and hair are barely visible in the darkness. Your Majesty, I have come to demand your surrender. You have lost the city, and soon the vampires will kill or enslave everyone. The king raised a hand, unwilling to interrupt Namid with debate as he scoffed, throwing Namid off course as the king roars his response. You can demand nothing from me. No mortal has ever breached my gates. No mortal ever will. This battle ends when I am good and ready for your surrender, boy. Now run back to your petty master slave. His father dismissed Namid with a wave, his face filled with nothing but disgust. Without thinking, Namid almost turned before he planted his foot and slowly twisted back to stare at his father. I did not come here to bargain on his behalf. I'm here to bargain on yours. I am no slave. I have refused his mark. Nimid roared, throwing off his armor for his father to see the boy's bare flesh. The king's eyes snapped to Nimid, taking in the man as Nimid finally got the king's attention. Nimid slowly replaced his armor as he continued to speak. I am here of my own will because he will kill you. The gods cannot kill him, they tried. Your Majesty doesn't understand. The Child King has lost control of most of his forces. I'm begging on behalf of what's left of the people. This siege must end or you risk more than your life. Nimid tried to reach him. You haven't seen the front lines. Your people have lost. Let me save you. I still love you, Father. Let me be the man you want me to be by saving Atlantis, by saving our people. Your Majesty, you have lost. Please. The king roars and is violently thrown from his throne, tumbling down the stairs as he screeched in pain. Nimid tried to help as he took a quick step, reaching for his father. The king recovered the next instant, his eyes wildly looking around before he began fumbling with his coat before drawing out a mask. Nimid's eyes locked on the elaborate decorated court mask. Nimid's heart frozen as he realized what design was masterfully placed. White on black. A crown of black thorns hung at the top of the mask, followed by white, almost glowing eyes. The eyes had deep gray crow's feet, and tears outlining the cheeks as they ran towards the mouth. The mouth was open as if to ingest the very tears the mask was crying. Nimid's eyes snapped to the king. The king stared at the unsettling mask with an almost longing. His eyes flew back to Nimid before dropping back down to the mask. A slow, malicious smile started to spread across his face as Nimid was forced to watch the literal light leave the king's eyes. I am its savior, the king whispered to the mask rather than anyone else, as one of his hands slowly caressed the surface of the mask. And I always will be. You missed your chance, boy. Father? Nimid took a step back before the king once again made eye contact. As they stared at each other, the piece of Nimid's soul that was Nefertiti forced him to take several more steps back. With a slow, almost theatrical flare, Nimid's father turned to face him, his eyes completely black as the rest of his hair, and the defining Atlantean glow that was the Atlantean soul vanished, replaced by voidlessness. The Mad King's face was filled with nothing but pure malice and poisonous intent as he slowly placed the mask on his face.